So we are getting some rumours that James Gunn might be out as head of DC at Warner Brothers after the flop of Superman and Peacemaker Season 2, which flopped as well. So because of Superman flopping and Peacemaker Season 2 flopping, James Gunn might be out as head of DC, which is what we're hearing rumours of at the moment. Honestly, this was quicker than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I don't even have anything against James Gunn. I don't have anything against James Gunn. But Superman didn't do very well. It definitely didn't do well enough to kickstart a whole new universe. It wasn't the billion-dollar movie that they needed. But anyway, here we go. So, with Superman reportedly bombing financially, and with Peacemaker Season 2 flopping with fans, we reached out to insiders about the state of the DCU under James Gunn. The short of it is that James Gunn will be out as the head of DCU with the WBD sale. If David Ellison of Skydance Paramount buys WBD, Mike DeLuca will be in charge of DC and do a completely new start again. Now, that would be a third reboot of the DC universe if that happens. Gunn recently said he is doing whatever he wants with DC. That sounded odd to me, as if you were building a new universe, you would want it to be successful with the fans. Of course you would. That's not happening, as both Creature Commandos and Peacemaker fail to chart on Nielsen. They don't have a big audience, and Gunn's claims that Peacemaker Season 2 was meant to be a sequel to his Superman movie was pure BS. Superman also failed to resonate with international fans. Its box office also came in under Zack Snyder's Man of Steel by a large margin. Gunn's approach to the DCU has been all about divisive messaging. It's splitting up the fan base. I mean, the thing is, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel did pretty well. It did pretty well. Did better than James Gunn's Superman. That Man of Steel, Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, was the movie that they needed here. They essentially needed another Man of Steel, especially money-wise, and they didn't get it here. Because I mean, this movie made about 500 million, and they needed it to do a lot better than that. Gunn is doing whatever he wants with DC because his days are numbered and he knows it. So he's getting himself, all his friends and his wife big paychecks before WBD sells. Which for him's fair enough, you know. For him, that's fair enough. Not great for us, though. Because that means we don't get the movies that we want to see. That means when a sale goes through, James Gunn is out. recently saw the big news that Mike D. Luca and Pam Abney resigned with Warner Brothers. In Deadline's report, they basically said it's because of the sale of Warner Brothers Discovery. David Ellison is looking to purchase WBD, so WBD CEO David Zaslav is putting people in place that Ellison wants. That means Ellison wants DeLuca and Abdi in charge of Warner Brothers films. You'll notice that Gunn has pivoted from his planned Gods and Monsters storyline into what he calls his Superman family saga. The Gods and Monsters storyline is likely ditched because Gunn knows he can only get a select amount of movies out before the sale. I've also been told the reasons why DCU projects have been stalling is because of Gunn's interference. The filmmakers want their own vision and not Gunn's. The most visionary directors in Hollywood are staying away from not only DC but Marvel and Star Wars because life is too short and everyone is looking for original properties. And that is basically what it's gotten to, isn't it? That's basically what it's gotten to. What's happened is these huge franchises that everyone once loved, like Marvel, like DC, like Star Wars, like Indiana Jones, they've become so diluted and corrupted and poisoned by corporatization that the genuinely talented filmmakers out there don't want anything to do with it. They're staying fucking light years away from these franchises. They don't want any part of any of them. Which to me makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense to me. And obviously it's completely just the fault of the studios for ruining the greatest IPs in cinema history. I mean, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, the greatest franchises, properties in cinema history, the most iconic, the biggest money makers. Everybody loved these franchises. And then Disney got their hands on Star Wars, they got their hands on Indiana Jones, and then in less than a decade, the whole thing was fucking ruined. They corrupted and poisoned both those franchises, and now Star Wars is a joke, and Indiana Jones is a joke, and movies, cinema, Hollywood in general is a joke, which is why indie films are doing so great. It's doing so well at the moment, which they are. Same thing over in gaming as well. Exact same thing over in gaming. Zack Snyder is happy doing his original stuff, but would only return to DC for one last movie, an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns. I'd see that. If you haven't watched Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, if you haven't seen the Snyder cut of Justice League, you need to. It is genuinely amazing. It's about something like 4.5 hours. It's very close to 4.5 hours, but it is great. It is genuinely great. So if you haven't seen the Snyder cut, you need to. It is genuinely fucking brilliant. If David Ellison buys Warner Brothers Discovery, James Gunn will be out. David Ellison's father, billionaire David Ellison, is close to President Trump. I don't know what that's got to do with James Gunn. I don't know what him being close to President Trump has to do with anything, but there we go. David Ellison's father's friends with President Trump. There you go. So, Peacemaker isn't getting a season 3, and Gunn lied about a family-friendly approach to DC. Nobody in the building knows his status except for Gunn himself, but his actions speak as to what might happen. So now, we're actually getting some contradictions in regards to the WB merger. So it's not entirely clear right now if the merger is actually happening, and if James Gunn's and who James Gunn would be replaced with. So it might not be this Mike D. Luca person. So it says here, and this is a fresh report. This article literally just dropped as I was making this video, so I wanted to quickly cover this. So the report made up almost everything, including the claim that a WB merger could soon replace Gunn with Mike DeLuca. The report on the site read, while it has been reported that Skydance is eyeing to purchase WBD, I'm told Universal is still in the mix. I know they've been eyeing WBD for years. What I am told, if David Ellison buys Warner Brothers Discovery, is that James Gunn will be out. David Ellison's father, billionaire David Ellison, is close to President Trump. There is no truth to this. Most fans, however, ignored the claim since it came from Cosmic Book News. The outlet has made many such inaccurate and wild claims in the past. So fans of the new DCU have nothing to worry about until things go sideways with the new projects. That has not yet happened, and Gunn has a long-term plan for the studio, which means things may not go sideways at all. So essentially this is just a rumour at the moment. There may be a merger taking place, and if that merger does happen, James Gunn might not be getting replaced, and if he does get replaced, it might not be that Mike DeLuca person. So this is all just speculation at the moment, all just out in the air. We don't really know what's going on at the moment. This is a fresh story anyway. This is a fresh story, dropped yesterday, I think, yesterday or the day before it dropped. So this is all very fresh. So there isn't much information at the moment, all just rumours. But I mean, Superman did flop, didn't do what it was supposed to do, and Peacemaker Season 2 didn't do very well, and it doesn't look like they're doing Peacemaker Season 3. And obviously the James Gunn movies aren't connected to the Robert Pattinson Batman movies, and obviously everyone's very excited for The Batman Part 2. I think the only way that DC can get the big cinematic universe that they want, that they've been trying to do for years, the only way they can get it, in my opinion, is if they find a way to link the James Gunn projects to the Robert Pattinson Batman movies, which is the thing that everybody loves at the moment. That's really what everyone's focused on, is those Robert Pattinson Batman movies. So I think if they can find a way to link the James Gunn universe to the Robert Pattinson Batman movies, then they can get the big cinematic universe that they want. But if they can't do that, then I think they're probably a bit fucked, probably a bit screwed. There's just going to be a bunch of disconnected movies all over the place from a bunch of different people, and some will be good, and some will be great, and some will be okay, and others will be pretty shit, and that's just how it will be over at DC. So anyway, that's all I wanted to cover. So yeah, see you later.